Hey there, chaps. I think that a lot of people still labour under the illusion that they can get away with things and they can believe that they're pulling the wool over people's eyes. And I must confess that I met my ex-boyfriend on a hookup app. And the thing is, a lot of men used to go to this site and watch men doing you-know-what on live broadcasts. But for the last few months, that facility has completely gone down, and there's a sort of a cohort of men who are sort of meeting on there to chat and then arrange cam sessions over other platforms. But occasionally, and I don't really know why, I still go onto this site, because the vast majority of this cohort are in the States, quite a few in Australia, and there are only a couple, including myself, that are from the UK. And I want to say it's force of habit, but I don't know, I'm fascinated by human nature, and wherever I can have a good conversation, I'll go for it, you know. But there's this, occasionally I'll get into an extended conversation with a handful of men, and there was this one chap, perfectly friendly, but he's putting on his profile that he's 98 years old. Now obviously he isn't 98 years old, he's in fact 74, but people still think that this is the strategy, as maybe they think it displays a bit of a sense of humour, that over a particular age, the number doesn't matter. But to me, I mean, fastidious as I am, got to admit, I think, well, just tell the truth. If the number doesn't matter, if it's just a number, then put the real one, put the accurate one. Just be honest, you know? Imagine, is it too much to ask? And he's also got wildly out-of-date photographs. And this was the conversation concluding today. That, oh, well, the thing is, yeah, those photographs are a bit old, but I still look like that. I said, well, yeah, that's what everybody says. But whenever you actually see the person for real, compared to their photographs, nobody ever looks like their photographs. Because in the beginning, those photographs were deceptive and dishonest. They're the best ones, the best light, the best angles. You know, they're portraying the absolute best possible image so that, you know, people can ensnare their latest victim that they're not going to have, you know, an emotional connection with. It's so funny. And at the end of it, I said, update your photos, mate, and put your real age. And he responded, but I'm just checking that I could just look in the viewfinder, but it's like we don't know. We don't know. But yeah, just be honest. Start living life just more genuinely, more authentically, and set yourself up for good things. You know, because what you put in is what comes out. And the amazing thing is that people are looking for solid connections, they're looking for good friends, and they're looking for, you know, genuine rapport with people. But you're never going to get that if you're lying. You're just not. You're never going to get an honest relationship if you believe that you can get away with not telling the truth. And of course, once you start to look at certain scenarios in a particular way, just being honest, well, it translates, doesn't it, to all of the different areas of your life. And the last few days, actually, I've been doing some really fantastic deep work of doing brain dumps. I mentioned on a recent video, brain dumps of perpetual cycles that are happening in my head. And what I'm actually finding is, as I start to write things down that are plaguing and occupying and infiltrating my brain all day, well, other connections are actually coming out of that. And I realise, well, what didn't I like about being with my ex-boyfriend? Well, I have to look at myself and say, well, why did I attract that? But also, there are lots of fantastic qualities that my ex had, that former friends had, and those are the things to start aspiring towards, to actually embody and imbue. And it's a really useful process. It's literally just writing things down, but the physical act of doing it makes it more obvious, it makes it more apparent, and you just get to look at the truth on paper. And of course, we avoid doing this because we don't want our enormous self-censors to go off and think, oh fuck, you know, if only I've done this 5 or 10 years ago. But everything comes at the right time. You can't force the process of life without really bad consequences. So this is what I'm in the process of doing. It's by no means finished. It's only just the beginning. But I already feel very sorted out about that situation. But for a long time I've been an aspiring entrepreneur, what some people call a wantrepreneur. And I realise that once I've sorted out all of the past relationships and how they've haunted me, well, the next stage will be to actually look at my business. And made a friend. Just wondering if I was going to be running down the street at me. But obviously at the moment I'm still dipping my toe in the water with my business, and I know that there's going to be great insight from doing this personal work and deep diving. And everything, it all happens in stages. But the best thing that you can do is be honest in the beginning and in perpetuity. That's the only real foundation to build on, because I look at a lot of people and I have sympathy, but I look at a lot of people making very, very destructive choices because they're not being authentic. They're just not, because it's a frightening thing to do. But it really is a worthwhile thing to do, because honesty is its own reward, and the consequences of honesty, well, they are absolutely worth investing in. Be brave.